We're about to step into a dark legend, a story that comes from the highest, most forbidden peaks of philosophy. This is the parable of the sovereign of the snowy mountain.
So, let's just dive right in with the central question of this whole explainer. It's a heavy one, for sure, but it's absolutely key. What actually happens when a society gets so comfortable, so insulated and safe that it completely forgets the most fundamental truth there is?
Well, the parable's answer is, something descends, and it's not a savior, not by a long shot. It's an architect of negation, a being whose entire purpose isn't to build anything up, but to dismantle, to offer a gift that nobody wants, but that everyone, eventually, needs. An end.
So who, or maybe what, is this architect? Let's take a look at how he actually appears as he makes his way down from those frozen peaks to begin what's called his intellectual salvage mission. He's got a name, the Grim-gnash, and you got to pay attention to the wording here. He's not just a monster, he is an architect. His very existence is part of some grand, kind of terrifying design, a whole philosophy made real. Think of him like the spirit of gravity, but given a physical, hardened, calcified form. The description here is so telling. He isn't just wrapped in darkness or shadows, no. He's covered in the colors of what's left after everything is gone. Ash and bone. You see, that's not just how he looks, it's his mission statement. He is the aftermath. This shows you he's a product of his environment. He's literally been hardened, made brittle and totally unyielding by the absolute isolating cold of the mountaintops. His fur is like needles, trapping that mountain mist, creating this permanent veil of ice that just chills the comfortable air of the world below.
Just try to imagine that sound. It's not a roar. It's the grinding, scraping noise of a mountain falling apart. It's a voice that's designed specifically to shatter the comfortable hum of agreement, that sleepy stupor you'd find in the Valley of the Last Man.
So, at the end of the day, he's not really a creature. He's a concept made real. A phantom born from that abyss we all try to ignore, and he's wearing our collective denial of death like a robe. He steps out to challenge the very idea that any sanctuary we build could ever be permanent.
Okay, now let's get to the why. What is the philosophy that's driving this terrifying figure? What is this unique Wendigo-like hunger that he has? What's it really for?
And here's the core of it all. Active nihilism. Now, this is not just about believing in nothing. It's an active, you could even say aggressive philosophy. The goal is to take a sledgehammer to what's called the gilded cage, that comfortable but totally stagnant life we build on convenient lies, and it does that by systematically destroying the false meanings that keep us trapped inside. And this is the real secret to his Wendigo nature. His hunger isn't for flesh. He doesn't devour people, he devours their certainty. He consumes the meaning they've attached to their objects, their institutions, their beliefs, and he leaves behind only the cold, silent truth of the void. This table here, it just lays out the transaction perfectly. Look at what he rejects. Things like slave morality, the rules that keep people comfortable and weak, and meaningless motion, all the busy work of a society that's just avoiding the hard truths. And in return, he offers something terrifying but honest, the final truth of the terminal shudder and the cleansing fire of necessary destruction. This line right here just captures his entire mission, to rip away that code of always, that comfortable illusion of permanence, and to expose the heart to the biting, freezing truth of our own finite existence. So, we have the entity and we have his philosophy, but how does it actually work in practice? Well, this next section gives us a perfect concrete example, the parable of the bell. So the Grim-gnash comes across a bell ringer. And this man, he represents all of humanity's striving, our desperate attempt to create something that lasts, a noise that matters, a signal to the universe that our lives actually meant something. Now pay attention to his method here. He doesn't just smash the bell. No, he convinces it of its own futility. He whispers the truth of the void into its very atoms, and the metal itself just surrenders, changing its color to that of a bruise, of decay. So what happens when the bell is struck again? It doesn't ring out with false hope. It makes the honest sound, a dead, heavy thud. It's the sound of reality, of gravity itself. It's a sound that doesn't inspire you to look up to the heavens, but one that pulls your spirit right down to the earth. And this honest sound, it's considered a gift. Now, why on earth would that be? Because in this philosophy, it's truer than any beautiful song. It reveals the universe for what it really is, not some listening, caring entity, but a finished, death, and just crushingly heavy reality.
Okay, let's zoom out for the finale here. We've seen who he is and what he does, but to what end? What is the ultimate purpose of this pilgrimage of the plague, as it's called?
This slide is basically the master blueprint of his job. He isn't working alone. He's a counterpart to decay itself, to the Shadow Reaper. He shatters self-righteous illusions, the mirror of the Pharisee, to break stagnation. And here's the key. His destruction isn't just an end. It's about clearing a path, making way for a new kind of human, what this philosophy calls the overman, to rise up from the ruins.
This metaphor really illustrates his role perfectly. Think about a body that's dying. His arrival is the failure of the final muscle. It's that catastrophic but necessary last step before the old form can be broken down and something new can finally emerge. He's the catalyst for transforming a world that has just grown soft and rotten, over-ripened.
And so, we come full circle. The architect completes his work. He provides the final, missing piece for a civilization that built everything except an exit. He is the one who comes to remind them how to die, and in doing that, maybe, just maybe, how to truly live.
So this parable isn't just some dark fantasy, is it? It's a mirror, and it leaves all of us with a final, pretty piercing question. What are our gilded cages? What are the comforting lies we're wearing like a coat? And what is the biting truth that we're all trying to keep from our own hearts?